From the Studio 13 Studios in Splendora, Texas, Hank's Think Tank is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cam's rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Hank's Think Tank. Guess what? Political season is here again. I have got Fallon Bulli in here today, and she is running for Roman Forest City Council, Position 2. And these elections are really important. And the reason why they're important is because we can control things that happen in local city government. We can't really control what's going on in Washington as much as we would like to, but it's more of a trickle-up effect than a trickle-down effect. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understood how important it is to be an educated voter and to go out and find out what you can about these candidates. By doing so, we place the right people in office, the right things happen in your communities, and that effect trickles up to larger government. With all that being said, Fallon, what's going on?
Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm good. So you've been a Roman Forest resident for a while, and you decided to throw your hat in the campaign there and run for position 2. Let's talk about what made you decide to do that and how all that came about.
Absolutely. So my background comes from being on the HOA board in my previous community for about 5 years. So I have a natural passion for community, for family, and for freedom in the essence of just protecting your values and ensuring that we keep peace and understand the voices of our community. So.
Okay. And so you decided to run for this city council position. So have you been going to the city council meetings and kind of getting up to speed on what's going on there?
Absolutely. I'm definitely a person who like to observe and hear the voices around me in essence of what are people saying, what are the concerns that residents have, and get a better feel of our current city workers here that are helping to serve us. So I've definitely been attending as much as I can, as well as any other local events that we have here in Roman Forest.
Okay. So what do you think would be like the top concern for most of the residents in Roman Forest, besides taxes and stuff like that,
Right,
flooding?
That's a big one.
So.
I would definitely say the development portion. I know that this city has grown. We got some new sections that have been added here to Roman Forest. So I think one of those things would be, as we grow, are we still preserving some of the nostalgia that Roman Forest is known for, some of the history, case being like the peace here, the quietness. It's not extremely busy. I don't think we want to turn it into like a main city where we have so much business going on around us. At the same time, growth is happening, and I believe that our current city council members are aware of that, and we're embracing that, but we want to make sure that it's done in such a way where, like I said, we preserve some of the things that Roman Forest is known for, but with the growth, there's some type of structure there, if you will.
You know, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I don't see a lot of people who consider growth to be something that can be steered and directed, but it can.
Absolutely.
And it's really, really important to make sure that even though growth is coming, that we attempt at least to steer it and direct it in the best possible way for the community and the surrounding communities as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other important thing is what goes on in Roman Forest does spill over to Tavola and other communities like that. And so it's important to also keep those smaller communities in mind when you're making those kind of decisions. So yeah, that's impressive to hear.
I agree, and thank you for that. Because I have had the chance to meet other residents in the neighboring communities, and we talk. They share some of the same interests that we have. Everyone has a story, and a lot of times when I do meet a new resident, I'll ask them, "Well, what's your story? What made you move here? Where did you come from?" And I'm surprised about how many people have come out of states. But I feel like there's a way that we could come together and make sure that all the forces unite, if you will, that we have a commonality as far as our interests, and just kind of go from there.
Cool. Okay. So if you get elected, do you have any specific goals that you'd like to see accomplished in your first term?
I do. I want to bring the community together more. I still feel like there's somewhat of a division with the old and the new, and just kind of building those bridges and filling in those gaps, and just see more families come out to our events that we have, let those numbers grow, and really just kind of embrace more of that neighborly small town feel, and also address some of the issues that I have heard at the city council meetings that we've had outside of development. Of course, there's about like the ditches and the drainage and stuff like that, and just kind of see where that's at, and then just be a voice to some of those concerns, and look more into those areas where I can.
Yeah, drainage is a big thing out here, and it's not only in Roman Forest, but all of East County.
Right.
And I don't really think, and I've never really looked at a topographical map. I'm not really sure if we're a bowl or not, but we definitely have some runoff issues. But we've got some smart people in office, and so I think a lot of those are going to be taken care of in the long run. But yeah, it's going to be the individual communities that are going to have to manage their own drainage as well. So those are some important things to take on, and big projects as well. So yeah, I appreciate all that. And you did speak of a community cohesion, and that's another really great idea. Tonight is National Night Out. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Of course, I'll be there, yeah.
And so I think they're going to have they usually have something at City Hall. They're going to have something at City Hall where the neighbors can come and get to meet each other and find out who your neighbors are. It's always a great thing, and it does help to build a certain level of cohesion in the community, and I think that's a wonderful thing, because it's something that nationally we've fallen off of.
Yes, yes.
When I was a kid, for instance, when I went to school, if something ever went wrong in my neighborhood, and I lived in the Heights when I was a kid,
okay,
I could knock on any door, and pretty much the woman in the house would, number one, be home, and number two, know me and know my friends and be able to help out with whatever the deal was. And I kind of wish we could go back to that. I know it's not possible, but it would be nice to have that kind of community feel again.
I would say it's possible, and I see it happening. It may not be where we're aware of every situation, but I do see that occurring. And some of the other neighbors that have been here far longer than I have been will come by and speak and introduce themselves. And I'll just give you an example. I think we had a lot of water come into the neighborhood one time, in some kind of miraculous way, I had fish overflow into the ditches where we were. And so I think it was perch. Well, I later on learned that's what it was. But I learned that because one of my neighbors, she was walking by and she introduced herself, and we were just talking, and I told her, I said, well, you see, I have these fish here. And I said, I don't know how they got here. I don't know what they are. And she was pretty knowledgeable about what they were. I guess she was, loved to fish. And she actually came back and brought some little nets for the kids to kind of pick them up and put them somewhere else. If we wanted to keep them. I said, look at that. It was such a nice gesture. But those are the things I think that you're talking about. Just going back to that old school feel, if you will. And she made sure, she said, well, if you guys ever need anything, just come around the corner, knock on my door if your kids need anything. And I said, I really appreciated that. And so I think it's happening, and I definitely do believe that it's possible. We just have to get more comfortable, and people are relational naturally. And so that comes with maybe just being a little bit more transparent, maybe being a little bit more social, coming out of your comfort zone a little bit. And I know we've kind of gotten to the time where everyone's kind of scared of, stranger danger kind of thing.
Too bad.
But I think in the end we'll come together, and we'll definitely embrace that a little bit more.
Yeah. So do you think you'll initiate any kind of programs or anything that would fit along those lines? Maybe some additional nights out or something like that, or knock on your neighbor's door and Hand them a thing of pudding
some
or
cookies
something.
or something like that.
There you go.
We should go back to that. I'm also serving on the events committee here in Roman Forest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I was there this past weekend with the last summer or end of summer barbecue.
How'd it go?
It went well. It wasn't as big of a turnout as our July 4th. I know that's a big one here, but we still got a chance to meet some new faces and introduce myself to people I didn't know. We had some volunteers come and assist, and so I'm always thankful for who I do see because it's just an effort that people took out of their busy lives and their schedule just to stop by. And so I think those numbers will grow again as word gets out. People start to know each other. We'll see larger numbers, but I'm working with that team as well, and we're working well together. I believe. I think our passions lie aligned with the same interests. We're wanting to do more stuff. I mean, we have a long list of things that we'd like to do in the coming years. So bit by bit, we'll just kind of break that out and see how it goes. But we have some more things coming up. Trunk or treat for October, and so
what's that?
The trunk or treat, it's kind of similar to trick or treating, but instead of going door to door, we'll have a setup probably in the park where people can decorate their vehicles and pass out candy, and it's just really kind of making it a safer option.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So we're doing that this month as well, and then some holiday stuff. So it's a lot down the pipeline.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Roman Forest always does a bang-up thing for Christmas.
I've heard. I'm like, I love Christmas.
I do too. It's my favorite time of the year. I got really excited when it turned October. I was like, yes, it's on the way. So, for me, it kind of begins the holiday season. You got the change of seasons, and you can just feel it.
Absolutely. Well, my family, we actually do Christmas in July. That's how much we love it too. It's like
really?
It's a whole thing. We sit,
we
make our typical Christmas traditional food. We'll watch Christmas movies. I know it's the summer, but we're halfway there, y'all.
Yeah, might as well.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's talk about your abilities. So, what do you do for a living?
So I am a freelance consultant, so I work with a lot of small businesses, and that could range from project management, social media advancement, as well as maybe hiring, recruiting, and things of that nature. Okay,
that's cool. And that seems to go pretty much in line with what a council position kind of does in a way.
It does.
At least it gives you a good foundation.
Yeah, I agree. My background's in corporate communications, and that's where I have a degree in as well. And so, yes, these things do help.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Yes. And let's talk budget a little bit. So Roman Forest has a pretty sizable budget for a community of that size. Do you think they're managing their money well? Do you see any places that you think the money could be spent wiser or better? And or do you have any ideas on where you'd like to see some of that money go?
Well, I've heard a lot of different ideas and opinions about that. And as you said before, I think we have a great team currently that's servicing the community as best as possible. And I'm sure they're evaluating some of those ideas. Me personally, I think if possible, we could maybe add some more to our park as far as the playground and maybe the pool might need to be expanded because of the growth, those type things. If we could fit that into the budget, that would be great. But we'll review all those options.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much the smart way to do it. So do you have a website, or do you have any place that people can go and get to know more about you and maybe message you or find out anything?
Well, I do. I'll probably provide that information more in a snapshot. And I'm revamping everything at this point, so I'll be able to disperse that later. Okay,
very good. Any closing remarks? Would you like to say anything to the voters out there?
Absolutely. So I feel that our community will be as good as we make it. So get out, get involved, and be a part of the growth and the help. I know a lot of times we have different opinions, but without action, nothing happens. So my whole goal, and I hope the community's goal, is just to come together and serve one another with all the interests aligned.
Okay. Have you ever served on a board or a council before?
I have not. I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, other than the HOA board
Well, the
that we
HOA
mentioned.
board's
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it. But it's very similar.
Okay.
This will be a larger scale, but
Yeah.
understanding budgeting factors, event planning for the communities, maintaining, implementing the restrictions and things like that that are expected to maintain the community. That's all very similar.
Okay, great. Well, Fallon, I appreciate you coming on. It was a good conversation.
Thanks for
And
having me.
I think you're a well-informed candidate, too. So it's going to be an interesting race, and I'm looking forward. When is Election Day?
November 7th.
November 7th,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go out, get out, do your part, please.
that's it. Get out there and vote. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Fallon Bulli, and she's running for position 2, Roman Forest City Council. This is going to be a good race, so pay attention. As soon as she gives me some information about the website and stuff like that, I'll get it to you guys. Until then, if you want to meet her, tonight is National Night Out, and she's going to be at Roman Forest City Hall. So you can walk up, introduce yourself, shake her hand. She's a very nice person, I guarantee
Thank you.
So I'm Hank Vatt. This is Hank's Think Tank, and we're out.
Bye. Thanks.